All right, if it's Tuesday, that probably means it's time for zombies. And zombies are among my favorite things. You can sing along with me if you'd like. This is Comic Book School Live. My name is Buddy Scalera, and we talk about the craft and business of making comics. I am a longtime comic book writer and also a massive fan of zombies. And I've asked some friends to join me here and talk about what they would do in the event of a zombie attack. I'm going to lead off with my good friend and a many award-winning screenwriter, Mike Fasolo. Mike, how are you doing? Are you excited for the show tonight?
I'm very excited. I have lots of things to discuss.
You do have lots of things to discuss. Let's just discuss for a moment my facial hair growth.
It is spectacular, and I'm very glad you kept it past November.
Hold on, let's give a good look for the kids in the audience. Let's see. Is it like this? What do you think? Look at that.
It looks nice. I really did.
I thought I could grow facial hair. I never thought I could grow facial hair.
You should definitely keep it.
I think I'm gonna, and I think, you know what? This is the all facial hair show. Everyone here is well endowed with facial hair.
That's something to be proud of.
It's a weird thing to say. Speaking of weird things to say, let's bring on our guests, Ryan Engle and Mark London. Guys, welcome to the show. Welcome, both of you, and your awesome beards. Those are epic beards, fellas. I have to say, you guys are really looking good.
Well endowed.
Well endowed. And Mike, I asked Ryan to promise us that in the event that this show actually becomes his next movie, Ryan, what did you promise me? You're going to do what?
God, I don't remember. What did I promise you?
You promised me that Mike and I would die glorious deaths in your movie.
That's right, of course.
Zombies.
Of course. You know, by the way, that's in every movie I ever write, all my daughters want to do is die glorious deaths. That's all they ever. Like, we want to be in it, we want to die.
Yeah, what else is there?
You raise them right. So, yeah. Mark, I hope that you're ready to be killed in a glorious way in one of Ryan's upcoming movies.
Hey, I'm all for it. That's the only reason I'm doing this, by the way.
That's why Mark stays late at the office. He's like, I'm staying late. There's zombies. All right. So, Mike, it looks like we already had comments started. Yeah. What's going on?
Yes. Would you get powers if you were bitten by a radioactive zombie? I guess it kind of depends on if you survive the bite or not.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Sorry.
And then Gatilla said something that I don't understand at all. No, you comic book school blank stare.
And then blank stare. Give blank stare. Blank. There you go.
Don't we all blank stare?
We're your well endowed beards. Hey, let me introduce our crew tonight, Mike. You know, I never do proper introductions. So tonight I thought maybe it would be a good idea to give some proper introductions. Mike, of course, everybody knows you, Mike Fasolo. We rarely talk about you being a 3-time Emmy award-winning television writer. Mike, that's not actually an Emmy. You're holding some sort of goblet. What award did you win there?
That is an Annie. That's an animation award.
That's an Annie.
An Annie, yes.
And you won that as well?
Yes, I have 2 of those.
You won 2 Annies, but we only ever talk about the Emmys? Is an Annie sort of like a...
Annies are big for the animation world, whereas Emmys are big for, everybody.
Well, I did notice that that you didn't wear a fancy schmancy suit. You tux it up when you go to the Emmys.
Yeah. And I usually grow better facial hair and look a little better than...
I'm going to guess, though, that neither Ryan nor Mark have Annies.
No.
Well,
no.
Unless you're married to one. I don't know.
Maybe when Ryan writes his movie, it'll be an animated movie, and then he can win one.
Ah, look at us planning your career ahead for you there.
What I do about you?
So, Mike, good work, and thanks for being our temporary co-host until I find somebody better than you. All right, let's give a round of applause to Mark London. Mark, welcome back. Mark is the publisher, CEO, founder of Mad Cave Studios. I feel like, Mark, you've been here so many times, and Mad Cave has been here so many times that, like, I don't know, we're going to charge you rent or something because you guys have spent so much time on our airwaves. But we're just happy to see that Mad Cave is really kicking butt, winning awards this year. It looks like your crew came home with a couple of trophies, and you too are a writer. You started off as a writer, and I think these are two of your active projects. Mark, is that what I'm to understand?
They are not the active projects, but they're projects I've written in the past. That they actually helped just build Mad Cave Studios and get the whole publishing deal going. So yeah, feel very proud of those books and everything that came after.
But Mark, you do have some active writing projects,
Yes.
right? Oh yeah. So, but not these.
Not these two. Right now, I have 3 series going. Yep.
Only 3. Oh gosh. Sorry to
It's a
hear
small
that.
month.
And you're running
I'm an underachiever, buddy.
Yeah, you're only running a publishing company. So very good, Mark. Thank you for joining us. If you missed Mark, he was on a couple of weeks ago, and we did the talkie thing. Speaking of talkie, welcome to Ryan Engle. Ryan, great to see you. Ryan's been busy for the past couple of years writing successful movies like Rampage, Nonstop, and now is publishing a comic book called Behemoth through Dark Horse, which is why he doesn't have time to go on social media. I don't know, Ryan. I'm not sure if you're making the right choice, but
I mean, I'm trying to be the sort of the anti guy, right? I just want to go when people go this way, I want to go that way. That's why I'm going to survive the zombie apocalypse.
You're going to survive the zombie apocalypse. You will also continue to have a career and not argue about politics online. Is that what I'm?
Oh, good God, no politics online. No.
So, all right. So, guys, this is going to be an episode where we do something a little bit different. This is our first time of doing a themed episode. And tonight's theme is called In the Event of, that'll be the framing device for the themes of a zombie apocalypse. Now, some of the questions that we had backstage from you guys, we will address, but we are dealing with slow zombies. This time, the slow, shambling, want to eat your brains type. Not the fast 28 days later or rage zombies or anything of that nature. These are traditional zombies as we know them. Now, I will be asking a series of questions and you will be called upon within class, but you are allowed to redirect questions, ask each other questions, challenge each other. But we will ask you sort of a series of 3 or 4 questions. But I ask you to take this in all seriousness, even you, Annie award-winning Mike Fasolo comedy writer. Unless it's really good, then you can put the funny in there.
Okay, if I can think of something funny, I'll try to add it in.
All right, we're going to go around the horn. Any questions from you, Mark London, guy who publishes stuff and also writes stuff and has multiple projects in flight? And any questions?
No, I think that I'm ready. I was born ready for this.
You were born ready. I feel like Mark is you can sense this underlying competitiveness with Mark. Funny feeling if we were playing foosball with Mark's playing a win. All right, Ryan Engle, guy who puts pictures on the big screen. Any questions, thoughts, final requests?
No. I may have tried to take this too seriously because I have thought about the apocalypse and what I would do personally many times. So my answers might not even be fun. They might just be fucking weird or scary or,
Ryan, I have taken this seriously, and part of this is the hope that you guys have taken it seriously so that I can prep for the inevitable zombie apocalypse.
Perfect.
So that I'm looking for good advice. And speaking of always has good advice, you don't tend to have good advice, do you, Mike?
No, I never have good advice. All my decisions are the wrong ones.
Mike, you seemed a little stressed backstage. You wanted to know more about the rules of how.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was basically I wanted to know if they were the fast zombies, if they were the slow zombies. If it's a zombie attack, for the sake of this show, are we the only ones left, or am I the only one left in a world of zombies? Is it just me? Is it other groups? Are they still around?
I thought the first question was, do I have to leave the house?
Well, no, I mean, that's one good thing. I could just go get all my supplies and then never leave the house, which is perfect.
Which is pretty much what you would what you do every day.
Yeah.
All right. Now, just for a quick reference, it is fill in your own profanity here. Blanking cold here. How is it out there in California?
It's a little chilly. It's probably around like 60.
Quick show of hands. How many of you get into the car with a survival pack in the event of a zombie attack, just in case? Because I do. I carry stuff with me in my car.
Like
because
what?
I do. Ryan, you took it seriously. I take it as a prepper.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
just so you know.
all of my stuff is more of a thought experiment. I don't actually do anything about it, which is kind of the way I live my life.
All right, well, that's fair. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into our questions. So, oh, shoot, fellas.
Uh-oh.
Oh, fellas, hold on. Let's.
Oh, did you push the wrong button?
I hit the wrong button, but I'm going to add it to the right one. Did I do it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, worth noting for all of you out there who wonder where I get my images, I do get them off of Creative Commons. I do not use AI for any generative art. So this was off of Creative Commons. Thank you, Mark London. Thank you. I know you guys have taken a stance on that.
Yeah.
So in the event of a zombie attack, this is the best looking zombie I believe I've ever seen. And I would be okay being attacked by this zombie. But should this zombie attack, I'm going to start with you, Mark London. Mark London, day one, talk to me. What happens day one? What do you do during a zombie attack? I'm going to put you in the hot seat. Go, Mark. What do you do in day one?
I think that the first thing, it would be just try to stay as informed as I can. I don't know if our listeners, how old are they? But the thing is that my dad always had like an AM, FM radio. You guys remember those?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for some reason, I always have one of those laying around in my house. Whether it's a receiver, whether it's an alarm clock, always AM, FM. So I know that if everything goes to shit in terms of smartphones and the internet and stuff, I know that at least the radio waves, somebody would be actually broadcasting something. So my thing would be just to try to keep as informed as possible of the situation in that sense. That would be kind of like a step one, right? Ryan doesn't have any social media, so he's good because that thing is going to go to hell anyway. So we're good about that. Also, I would try to avoid panic. I know that that's kind of like very difficult to do in this situation, but that's why I take some meditation seriously in the morning. So I will just try to go into my Zen space and be like, okay, how can I approach this? I need to try to tackle this in the best way possible. That's my mentality. Assess the environment. I think that that's key, right? I think that you have to like get a lay of the land and gather basic supplies. What you were saying, buddy. I mean, let's try to get some. I would put a survival kit in place. Flashlight, some water bottles, so maybe some canned tuna, some canned beans, something that can just like try to get me by. And weapons, I know that we're going to go and talk about that later during the show, but that would probably be my 4 things. It would be information. It would be just to avoid panic, assess the environment, and have a survival kit.
I like it. Very good. Very good. All right, Ryan, it is day one of the zombie apocalypse. And I should note, guys, just for the reference, you are neither home safe with your family, nor do you have any advanced warning. It's just like in the movies. It hits. Stuff gets real, right? Stuff gets real. Ryan, day one, what are you doing?
All right, so I'm not with my family. So obviously the number one goal in life, in story, in whatever, is going to be get to my family and make sure that they're safe and get them out of the situation that they're in. So however I have to do that, if I'm across the city and it's an hour sort of trip to my family, that's what I'm doing, right? If it's 25 minutes, however I get to my family, I'm getting to my family. That's number one, regardless of what I have to do, who I have to kill, whose life I have to ruin. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting to my family. Okay. So that's step number one. Once I've collected my family, if that's not the thrust of my story, if the thrust of my story is not getting to my family, then the first place I am going is a sporting goods store. I'm not going to a Walmart. I am not going to a grocery store. I'm going to a sporting goods store. I'm going to Dick's in Glendale. I'm going to Big Five. I'm going somewhere where I can arm up, where I can get camping supply, where I can get gas, where I can get light meals. So I'm talking MREs because sorry, Mark, tuna's too heavy. I want light. I'm gonna get all of that together. The third thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the hell out of the city. I do not want to be anywhere close to population. I do not want to be anywhere where I am trapped in a building of any kind. I do not want to corral it. I don't want to do that. I want to get out into the open where I can see these things coming because they're slow and I can run. And I don't want to be backed into a corner. I want to be wide open. Those are the three things that I do. Now, if I have to get to my family and there's a horde of zombies between me and my family, that's a whole different scenario. It's a whole different bag of tricks. So
yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed. I mean, Mike, it's going to be tough to keep up. Like Ryan brought it. Ryan not only brought great ideas, he brings conviction. I believe him when he says it. Yeah. So, Mike, day one, what do you think?
You said we're not anywhere near our home.
Correct. You don't get this easy pass like, oh, I'm in the house. Let me just lock the front door.
I'm like in the middle of downtown LA.
You pick a scenario, but it ain't home and you ain't near the loved ones.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna follow Ryan's lead and try to get out into the open. Definitely get away from LA. Definitely get out somewhere. Go up into the mountains where you're not gonna have too many of the zombies wandering around. And even if they do, it's colder up there, so they'll be even slower, which is even better. But I would go to. It would probably be a little dangerous, but I would go to like a Home Depot. So you could get a lot of the equipment you're going to need because you're going to need solar power. You're going to need batteries. You're going to need lights. You're going to need all the stuff. And if you have the time and you're not being attacked by too many zombies, you can load up your car with all the stuff you need. And then you hit the road and you go.
Wow, you guys, I'm heck of impressed with you guys. Now, we did talk briefly, and since you broke the subject, Ryan, day one, what weapons are you taking? What's the right weapon on day one, and what's the wrong weapon?
Who? Me? Mark? Who? Anybody?
Ryan. Yeah, you go because you're my weapons guy right now.
All right, mass casualty weapons. That's really what it is. It's about, to me, it's about crowd control, right? Like, so first of all, I don't own a gun. I don't know how to fire a gun. Like, a gun would be wasted on me, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use any weapons that get stuck into flesh, right? Because like you hit them with a machete and then you can't get it out. You hit them with an axe and you can't get it out, right? So I am immediately designing some kind of Molotov cocktail, some kind of explosives, any like gas tank with a rag in it, whatever I can do to inflict maximum damage. That's what I'm going to do because it's about getting to safety at that point. I think the problem is once you survive the initial attack, then you have to be ready for what narrative has taught us. The real enemy is always the humans that you come in contact with, yes. Right? So then it's a different series of weapons, but I think you have to be able to survive the initial onslaught. And once you've done that and the world changes, it becomes a different thing.
Ryan, so you've already jumped to either Act 2 or Episode 4 of the Netflix series. But let's stay on day one. So day one, you're getting a blunt instrument, but preferably something with mass casualties. You're going to be able to clear a horde coming toward you. Okay, good. Okay. All right, Mark London, what about you? Day one, there's debris everywhere. There's weapons and options. What are you picking up for defense?
Well, I have to disagree with Ryan because I think that Molotov and guns, even if he doesn't know how to use a gun, those things are noisy as hell, so they will attract. I mean, you will definitely get your way at first, but then you're going to become buffet for these people, unfortunately. So I would definitely just go with blunt instruments. I would probably take a bat. I mean, I like Ryan's idea of going to Dick's. Yeah, I will take a bat or crowbar. Or maybe, a katana. Why not a katana? I mean, that's something that comes in handy. I mean, they don't sell freaking katanas at Dick's. But, I would just try to get something, that could be a blunt instrument. Hey, Mike said Home Depot, maybe a shovel. Something like that, something stealthy, something that I can really, really swing and just get out of Dodge without attracting too much attention to myself.
I like it. All right, Fasolo, what do you got? You've heard from two experts already. Where are you going to land?
See, I'm going to go with the opposite. I'm going with the gun. I'm going to go to a gun store that I can find. I'm getting, at least a couple of handguns.
Do you know how to use a gun, Mike?
I do actually know how to use a gun. I've
Okay.
shot many guns, and I'm actually a pretty good shot. So that's good. And then, once they're all loaded up, then you go to your nice secluded place, or at least somewhere high where you can always shoot down at the zombies because they are slow. You can pick them off one by one. And as long as you can remain safe, then, I think the gun is the best way to go because it gives you the distance. You don't have to worry about getting up close and hitting them with a bat or, trying to chop their head off. That's bad news.
What about ammo, Mike?
What about ammo?
If you rob a gun, or if you rob it, everybody's dead. So if you just go get the ammo from the gun shop, you can load up all you need.
Yeah, but we're still talking about day one. I mean, we're on day one. There's still a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, it's chaos.
We're prepping. Okay.
Yeah.
We're prepping. We are prepping. Mike, any valid comments that came through that we wanted to see? I saw a few smirks when you were flagging some comments.
Go to Bass Pro Pyramid in Vegas, our new religion. That's always a good one.
That seems awfully complex, Andrew. It seems like a lot for day one.
I was gonna say that's like day 10. Like that's yeah.
Okay, this is America. We're the most heavily armed society on earth. Stay at home and let the rednecks take care of them. Wow.
Yeah, that's another good one.
If you're in the go to
suit of armor is a very good choice if you're going to stay, stationary. Because they're not going to be able to get through the armor, but you also can't move very fast.
You can hole up in medieval times down in Winter.
That's true. You do want some protection. All right. So guys, we have made it through day one. Day one, you've suffered the anxiety and the indignities of whatever you did right or wrong. Week one, right? Love the movie 28 Days Later because it took us through this scenario of we woke up and it's not that far into it. Week one, food is still abundant. There may be still an infrastructure, maybe not. There may be this possibility that you could maybe survive this, but you might not. So Mike, I'm going to start with you. Week one, full of uncertainty.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
See, here's the thing. If we're talking that the zombies are attracted to noise, there is a way to kind of corral them. They actually did this. They had a section of it in the Walking Dead TV show where someone had gotten all the zombies into a giant pit and trapped them in there, which is great. So if you can find a way to attract them to a certain point, if there's a ditch, if there's a stream, if there's anything that you can get them into a pit somehow, you can set them all on fire and at least them, you take care of them. And if you can keep the noise going with, whether it's a motor or a radio or something that will attract them, they will just keep kind of wandering in and you can take them out one by one, or at least at the very least, they fall.
You're looking for some mass eradication then, Mike.
Yes, you have to take them out. If you can get them somehow into a pit, or if you have those big trucks with the Optimus Prime big trucks with the trailers.
Yeah, semi. Yeah.
Yes, if you can get them in there, that's the very least you can trap them in there, and they're not getting out because they're zombies.
They're zombies. So you're looking to corral and destroy.
Yes, get as many as you can, and set them on fire. That's the easiest way to go.
And so your weapon of choice in after that first week is what? Fire?
Well, yes. If the weapon would be fire.
Your weapon would be fire. All right, good. All right, Mark London, a week into this thing, you're not sure what's going on. Is society falling apart? Will you guys survive this? Is there an infrastructure? Do you fight? Are you still hungry? Do you have enough tuna? Talk to us about what you're doing week one, my friend.
I think that at this point, I'm still trying to assess exactly where survivors might be. Where are what has fallen, what has not fallen? I would just try to actually gather as much information as possible. Again, I will keep on checking that AM, FM radio.
Right.
Yeah.
You're there.
I mean, always trying to just what's going on. and try to hide. I mean, again, I'm not at this point. I mean, week one, still trying to eradicate. You're just going blind into a fight that you have no idea what's going to happen.
Sounds like you're prejudiced against the unalive. Wow, those are big words. There's a lot of hurtful stereotypes about the unalive, Mark. Wow, they're slinging big political words at you about the unalive. That's cruel. But Mark, okay, so unlike Mike has gone full on vengeance. He's already looking to burn. Mark, you're like, I'm thoughtful. I'm going to try to think about what to do. But primarily it sounds like you're like, all right, shelter in place. Have you, if in all scenarios, have you reunited with your family? Because clearly there's nothing that Ryan Steam Plow Engle nothing will keep him away, right? Like he is there like a flying V to his family. What about you, Mark London?
No, at this point, I mean, I'm under the assumption that, I mean, I'm just still trying to look for my family. I haven't been able to just get to my family. So I'm trying to, again, try to figure out, I mean, what's going on? Where am I at? Where are the different like places that actually are still being populated by humans and not zombies? And I would really, really just try to cover my ass at this point.
With your AM radio,
with my AM radio, with my tuna, with my katana, and the baseball bat.
Yeah,
right.
I like that you're keeping track of this. It's almost like a video game, like you're a Minecraft collector. Burnett says,
"Look, Burnett, he knows location."
All that location.
He's absolutely right.
And by the way, Burnett is a very talented artist, and maybe he'll be drawing for you sometime. All right, Ryan Engle. Ryan. Your bloodthirst scares me. I'm afraid that we get stuck on an escalator, and just at the mall, no zombie attack. We get stuck on the escalator. You're going to eat me. Kill me.
Well,
forget an elevator. Ryan's like, somebody's got to die.
No. I actually, no, I'm kind of the opposite of Mike. I'm not within week one suddenly turning into, okay, I'm the guy that's going to level the playing field and take out all the zombies. I'm not doing that. Right. So, by the way, as a matter of information, just if anyone was curious, there's a sporting goods store in Colorado, and it's one of the major ones. I can't remember what it's called. They do have katanas. Just FYI.
Cabela's?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, and they also have a Ferris wheel in one of their major, locations. But just so you know, there are katanas available if you're in the Denver area.
So Ryan, I picture like you're on the Ferris wheel. As you go down, you just swing the katana. You go back up to the top. Right?
Sure,
it's fun.
Why not? I'm with Ryan.
Yeah. It's like a carnival game. Yeah, totally fun.
All right, Ryan Engle, it is week one. Yeah. Consolidate. Talk to me about what you're doing and what weaponry and food that you've accumulated at this point.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to bring it back to story for a second, because I think for me it's going to be about what's the narrative device, right, in life and in story. If the narrative device is I'm getting a radio broadcast, or I've met a person who's in some place of authority that has a lead on a location where I can get my family to safety and have the support of others, where society might still be operating, that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to be better in a group at this point than on my own. So if not having that knowledge, what I'm most likely going to do is, I don't know if I would go to the mountains. I actually was thinking I would go more towards the desert or the cooler area up towards like Palmdale or Lancaster, where you can literally see anything that's coming for miles. Nothing hides behind trees. Nothing. Like I have full 360. I'm like a cowboy on the open range. Just me, my family, my tent. Right. I'm setting up booby traps if I can. I'm getting real creative about what I can use, because again, the gun for me, like I'm like the guy jumping out of the bathroom in Pulp Fiction, right? I'm missing every shot. That's not going to work for me. So I need to be smart. I need to be stealthy. I need to be quiet. And one more thing is a personal matter. My wife, she's always said to me in if there was ever an apocalypse, just leave her. She's like, how you walking down the freeway and you see all the dead bodies in the car? She's like, I'm one of the dead bodies in the car. I'm never the guy walking down the freeway. So,
don't even come back for me.
Yeah, so I have to, part of my mission is going to be to keep her going, which is going to be challenging. So there's going to be an emotional thing that I have to do there. I'm going to have to manipulate her a little bit emotionally, do it for the kids. You know, do it for
Wait,
me.
Ryan, is she just saying because she just is not capable of surviving the zombie apocalypse? Just leave me. I'll be.
She's like, I don't even want to survive the zombie apocalypse. She's like, I just want to die. Like, she's like, leave me be. Like, just let him take me. It's fine.
She can be patient zero.
Yeah, she's yeah.
All right, since we're on the topic, Mark London, your family members. You don't have to reveal too much. You have kids, a spouse. What's going on with them? How are they reacting to this scenario? Ryan just said his wife's ready to just pull the blanket over her head and be done with it.
Oh, I think that when my wife would do exactly the same thing. I mean, my wife just like me. She's really, really terrible at trying just to do the whole like exercise thing. I mean, she gets super tired all the time. So I think that in a zombie apocalypse, it would be just like, honey, what are we doing? Either we die together or save yourself. Because again, it's just, I would have to choose. But if I would have to choose, I mean, I would die with her willingly.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Definitely. But again, my wife would not be a very cool partner in a zombie apocalypse. I can tell you that right now. I mean,
so you're very thoughtful. You've thought about your meditation. You get your Zen moment. You're listening to your AM radio. What's your wife doing? Her top is just flipped off. She just.
Oh no, she would definitely completely be doing the opposite. She would be She would be hysterical about this situation. She would just be losing her shit. She would just be like, just let me die. I mean, this is, my wife doesn't watch horror movies. She hates them. I mean, so imagine a zombie apocalypse. If that shit becomes real, no, we're definitely in trouble. We're in so many levels of trouble that it's like, no.
My wife would tell me I'm doing zombies wrong. Oh, Andrew, that's the winner. That is the winner. Just as a quick point, my wife. Oh, hold on. Feel like a herd of zombies would be some good navigation to improve your cardio.
For sure, 100%.
Of course, they're the slow zombies, so you can really just outwalk them.
Yeah.
You could outwalk them. You've never seen how slowly I walk, Mike. I feel like my wife would be okay, Mark, in a zombie apocalypse. I think she'd be rather nonplussed. She's a nurse. She's seen blood.
Oh, okay.
If there was a spider anywhere, that's it. She would just. That's it. She's going to give up. But the mysterious Mrs. Fasolo, who has no social footprint, is not checking any socials. What's going on, Mike? And I know you do not have children other than your friends in comic books. What's going on? Is Mrs. Fasolo on board? What's her deal?
She would be perhaps the worst. She would probably be on board with like Mark's wife. Just everything would be panic. Everything would be high anxiety. She's the kind of person that would run out into the street to try and scare the zombies off, thinking that would work. And it would be a nightmare. I
feel like your wife would ask. I know your wife. I've been to your house. I feel your wife would ask a lot of questions.
Oh yes, there would be an exceptional amount of questions, and just everything would be second guessed 1,000 times.
But isn't your wife from some Midwestern state where they would know how to handle guns? Wouldn't she be a good?
No. They left there when she was just a kid. So no, she's a California girl.
Oh, so she's a full California girl.
Yeah. She would just not work well with the zombies. No, not at all.
All right, so we're checking in. At this point, some of us have sheltered in place. Mike is bloodthirsty for vengeance. Ryan would kill you if you got stuck on an escalator. And Mark London's checking AM radio. What weapons now, 1 week into it, are you trying to acquire? I'm going to start with you, Mike Fasolo. What weapons are you trying to acquire at this moment?
Well, I'm still going to go with the guns because I think that those are the best. I would.
And how are you going to get these guns? Just give me a hand, right? After the initial day one chaos, how are you getting guns?
Well, after the day one chaos, the zombies would be a little more spread out. I mean, unless you're going deep into the city, you can go to smaller stores on the outskirts where there aren't going to be as many. You can get, especially in LA, there's plenty of gun stores. You can get weapons at, the weapons with baseball bats or machetes or whatever, pretty much any store you want. And I would just be tracking those smaller stores down and, you know, clearing those zombies out and getting anything that I could use. But I would focus on the guns because those are the distance weapons and the easiest ones to use, I think.
I think your guys right here, both of them have a very thoughtful look, don't they? They both have a very thoughtful look. They both. So Mike is a closet prepper, ATF beware. All right, well,
yeah.
You don't actually have. You're going to have guns. London's got tuna, and Ryan's got.
He's got an AM radio too.
Yeah.
So Ryan, I'm going to go to you as our MRE advocate. Talk to me. What weapons are you trying to acquire 1 week into it? Now that you know it's actually a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, right. So I think you know, we've assumed up to this point that everything's gone right? And I think at this point something has gone wrong in my escape with my family out into the woods or to the tundra region. And I think the way that something has to happen, you know, one of my family members broke an ankle, right? Or you know, we got caught in a mudslide, or we barely escaped a zombie horde, and all of our supplies were stolen. Okay,
oh boy.
So now we're in a situation where it's like we're left you know, exposed and in trouble. So we would be going into the first house that we saw to try to recover the lost elements, you know, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. So this could be like a meth addict's trailer. This could be a you know, like a compound full of right-wing extremists. This could be like, that's what I'm facing down with my family. I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay. So it's really going to depend on what I have to break into and who I have to face down. And I'm thinking that I go into the compound and I have to go hand to hand brutal, and I get my first taste of close up death. You know, hand to hand, save my kid's life with a Bowie knife that I barely get off the guy's, you know, belt, and I put it through his neck. You know, like that thing, so blood's on my face. So I know it's really going on. And then I look up and his kid, who's only 10, is looking at me. And now I got to take care of that kid too. That's like, so I've taken over the right-wing compound. I've got all their weapons. I'm refortifying, but now I have this 10-year-old who's not part of my family, and I don't know if I can trust him.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So that's where I go.
Wow. Don't forget to get gun oil and clean rags. Got to maintain them. All right.
Yeah.
And Burnett says the hardest part would be getting and storing ammo. I think melee weapons are great until your arms get too tired or otherwise overwhelmed.
That's why you gotta stay away from people.
What are melee weapons? What is that like? What is that?
You know, the swords and the axes,
a crowbar,
anything you can swing.
Yeah.
I guess I understood with the weapons where I didn't understand. What does that mean that your arms get tired? Clearly, I would just cool these things down. All right, let me look for the left-wing extremists. They're out there sometimes, way out there, but still, okay, that's true.
That's true.
Oregon Trail. It's the hardest.
Oregon Trail, you got to worry about the cholera then.
Yeah.
All right, Mark London, it's a week into it. You know now, your AM radio has tuned 1010 Winds is like, it's definitely a zombie attack. And traffic is clear on the BQE. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. What's going on now? What are you?
Now I need to find a radio. But actually, but now a radio that I can broadcast. All right. Okay. That I can broadcast into. So now, first I was getting receiving all the information. Now I need to get information out. Oh. So at this point, I'm just thinking that I don't have my family. So I need to try to reach out to them, see if they're listening by a miracle or something. So I'm just trying to get, as Ryan was saying, I'm trying to get different, same humans, the alive ones, not the zombie ones. What is it that they're doing? So I'm trying to do that. Food at this point, I might be running out of tuna. So I need to try to find, loot a convenience store, or I don't know, underguarded farms, or focus on, again, more canned foods, see what's that. Fill containers with either faucets that you would see, or maybe use purification tablets. If you find those, at a CVS or something like that. Shelter, look for abandoned houses or buildings. Universities are great. You know how those kids, they're going to stuff all great things, all great snacks in their dorms. So that would be perfect.
Lots of weed.
And at this point,
What,
again, I
Ryan,
would
lots
still.
lots of what?
Weed.
Oh, weed. Oh, okay. Just to
Of
keep it
course,
calm.
I mean,
yeah.
hey, is this zombie apocalypse, man? You just have to. You have to wing it. And what weapons should you use at this time? Probably, I mean, again, I'm not like Mike. I don't think that I'm the Terminator. I would keep on going silent weapons. I would, at this point, I would try to upgrade to a crossbow or a silent firearm, maybe. But again, I would try to keep my noise to a minimum. I mean, at this time, and just preserving life, my life.
What? I have a question, Mark.
Yeah.
What does your wife say to you after she finds out you waited a week to rescue her?
That's some serious stuff, Ryan. I mean, you're bringing the heat to this conversation. Oh no, my wife then would definitely kill me. I mean, if I would wait a week, I mean, that sweet person that you would tell me just like let me die during the zombie apocalypse, or if I waited a week to try to find her, I mean, she would definitely kill me. Definitely.
He'd throw you to the zombies.
You're dead.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mark, other than the obvious, what is it, bunker that you call Mad Cave Studios? I don't know what that is, a bunker or some sort of airplane hangar or something. Do you move in there? Where do you fortify? And if you do bring people in and fortify, do you tell them not to touch the Batmobile? Like, what's
100%.
bullshit to that? Like, do not touch that Batmobile.
All the cool shit, all the toys are off limits. And this is when you really see humanity at its worst, when somebody starts touching your toys or your collectibles.
Especially in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. That's really The Walking Dead, my friend. I mean,
all right, all seriousness, where's your shelter location, Mark? Now that you've let's just say, for argument's sake, you have collected the primary clan back together. You got a radio, enough tuna to keep you guys going. Where are you sheltering, Mark?
I'll even try to look for a library that I can probably just like barricade myself. I would probably try to find a bomb shelter. I don't know if there are those in California, but again, I will try to look for those. Somewhere that I can really build a barrier between my family and the undead.
All right, let me lay some pressure on the both of you. We didn't anticipate this, so you guys are going to have to improv against this. Where exactly? Name a location that is within your current radius of reasonable travel that you would legitimately go to in week 2. Ryan, I see you nodding. Ryan, where would you go? And then Mark, I'm going to come back to you. You got to tell me a real place.
I would go to Lancaster. I would go as far out away from the city as I could to be close enough to be able to return to the city every once in a while. At that point, I feel like things will have slowed down. I would want to be out in the middle, like I said, in the middle of nowhere with all kinds of sight lines. And I would return to the city only to go to a Home Depot or something like that, where I could erect a fence. At this point, I feel like I could find batteries. I could electrify it. I could get a generator. Like, I would build a castle wall, essentially, of electrified fencing around my perimeter. So I would have visibility. I would have protection. I would have something that would kill the zombies if they touched the fence. I might even dig a massive ditch that they would fall into if they tried to get there, because you have time at this point. Like, these things are slow, right? But to me, it's all about visibility, and it's all about being able to protect yourself.
But Ryan, do you know of a specific building in Lancaster that you go, oh, it's the Piggly Wiggly, where are you going to go?
I mean, I've driven. I can't give you like 8309 like West, Desert Street, but like there's definitely like a trailer out there that I've driven by 1,000 times that I could make my home base.
Sounds good. Mark London, where are you going right now? We know first Mike's taking high ground, but we're going to come back to Mike. Mark London, where are you going? Where are you fortifying?
Same thing, something similar. There's a place like an hour from where I am called Julian, and they basically just like they do some camping over there. There's glamping. There's like probably I would just try to get there. It's still an hour away from where I am, but again, it's still close to civilization. That kind of I like what Ryan was saying. Try to be secluded enough, but try to reach maybe like a Home Depot or a CVS or something close to civilization where you can just load supplies and then go back and be a hermit.
Wow. And I've noticed that neither of you yet, nobody said their own house.
Oh no.
Even with that warehouse behind you, Mark London, you wouldn't fortify that because it's steel. I would think you'd want to.
That's the problem. I mean, it's not like we were talking about, like it's not like Mike Emmys that they have basically just like, you can stab people with it. I mean, here is just I'm gonna throw the Batmobile at someone or at zombies. I mean, this place is just terrible.
All right, week one, Mike. We know what we're in for. We're about to go to week 2, but where have you sheltered at this point?
Well, I am going to the one place where the zombies really can't get to me. I'm going to Catalina Island.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna jump on a boat and I'm gonna get out to Catalina. Now I'd have to clear out the zombies that are on the island, but once there, they can't get to you. You're all set.
Wow, Catalina Island.
You can get back to the shore to go to the stores when you need it. But on Catalina, there's plenty of shops that will keep you good for months and months, maybe even a couple of years.
Wow, I like where you guys are going. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting a little further into it. It is now week 2+. All hope is over. Mark knows this because he heard it on his AM radio. Some DJ was like, folks, this is really it. We are done. And I'm going to go right to you, Mark, because I think, you know what? Let me go to Mark. Mark, 2 weeks in, fait accompli. There ain't no coming back. You know now that zombies are there's no more emergency, quick hit, run in, steal a gun, and run out. This is now permanent.
I have 2 choices: either fortify where I'm at, or keep moving, stay mobile.
Well, that's a pretty big,
Exactly. I mean, because it depends on the situation. Like, really, I mean, you're 2 weeks in and you're definitely, I mean, okay, are there hordes of these things? Are there a few? Okay, I can really just like stay in one place and just like barricade myself and forget about the world? Or is definitely this is going to be something that is going to come, I don't know, and jump at me in the night and is going to kill me? So I would probably just have to assess both situations and then be like, either stand on my own ground or stay mobile.
Wow, I like that. All right, Fasolo, I saw the Mad Max comment. Mike, you dress like Mad Max when I come to visit. It's
all
awkward.
The time.
It's awkward because of the assless chaps, but I feel like it's a good look for you.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, so we know, Mike, this is it. There's no way avoiding it. You're definitely in a zombie apocalypse. It's more than 2 weeks. You're like, what are you going to do? What's the long game, Mike?
Well, I mean, obviously the long game is survival. And like I said, if I'm holed up on Catalina, I think I'm pretty good because I got all the shops that I need right around there. I don't have to worry about, the zombies coming to get me. And it would just be a matter of getting back and forth to the coast to pick up more supplies.
What kind of supplies do you need? I mean, if you're on Catalina Island, are you fishing?
You could fish. I didn't even think of that. But yes, you are going to run out of water. You'd have to learn how to, or at least you could. You can collect some rain occasionally when it rains in California. You can learn how to change the ocean water into drinking water. Get some desalination pills. You can do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it also depends on if these zombies are like TV zombies that will never decay, or if they are real zombies that will just, eventually decay as a human body would.
There's nothing convenient about these zombies. There's
so they're
no like easy convenience where you're like, well, I'll just wait them out. No, they're
around.
They're around. They are around.
So yeah, right. I'm hunkering down on Catalina.
All right, you're hunkering down on Catalina. Now Ryan out there, line of sight Engle is got the fence electrified. He's dug a moat. He's hatched dinosaurs. He's got raptors keeping a watch. But what really is the long game plan, Ryan?
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, I'm thinking about my 12 and my 10-year-old, right?
Okay.
And I'm thinking, okay, what does this life look like? What does this world look like? What does our future and our existence look like? So I think first and foremost, you start trying to figure out how are we going to live sustainably, right? That means, like, are we going to start farming? Are we going to start, some sort of irrigation plan? How are we going to get fresh water, et cetera? Is this a place that we can do that? And if we can't, because I think at 2+ weeks, things have started to calm down. Like, there's a lot of dead zombies. There's mostly a lot of dead people. Like, I think you're starting to get a lay of the land. Then what I would start to do is I would start to probe. Like, I would start to go out a little farther every single day, start to look around. Is there something else out there, something I'm not thinking of? Is there civilization? Has someone gotten a grasp on this thing? I would start to really look for information. And then from a storytelling standpoint, what I would do is I would introduce a wild card. I would introduce some stranger that walks up to the compound and is like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, I have a secure location I can get you to, but I'm wounded and I need your help. So let me, I would introduce something that would keep the story sort of pulsating along. Somebody says, hey, look, I know this guy, Mike, he's got an island. And he's all alone. Like, and can you get me there? I can't walk because my leg's broken. Like, that kind of thing. And then you have to make a choice. Your wife says, we shouldn't leave. The kids are in danger. And I'm like, but this guy's got a broken leg and he claims he knows the way. But maybe it's a setup, right? Maybe humanity is starting to crumble. So I think the things that make these things interesting is that as a thought experiment is like, like, what are the complications? What are the human things that would happen? Because those are the things that usually mess you up, right?
Well, I agree. And okay, writers, let zombies are people too. No,
Word.
What season did the zombie attacks start? Summer, winter? I'm going to say right now. It started like right in this bad weather. Mike has an island and booze.
He's a pirate.
Not very useful for Mike. Mike, you don't drink. So
don't even need the booze. I just got the island. That's all I need.
Oh, Mike, is there a name for your island? Are you renaming Catalina to like
No, I think I'd keep it Catalina, because who else am I going to tell it to? No one else is around.
True. Very true. Okay. So guys, give me a complication and how you react to it. Ryan, you said that there's a knock at the door. I'm going to go to you, Mark London. There's a knock at the door, a guy that has a broken leg. And what do you do? What are you doing? Ryan Engle already said he's going to see what the barter system holds. And
we watched this movie so many times, guys.
Yep.
Oh no! I mean, at this point, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to be the selfish asshole. And no, he's not coming in.
Yeah.
What if he says he might have something that might be of use to you, like your D batteries have run out?
I've seen that movie too, buddy.
You've seen that movie too? Okay.
Yeah,
no. When you were talking about it, I kind of like had this like a nostalgic pine for the professor on Gilligan's Island, because I'd be like, there must be like a bicycle that we could ride made out of palm leaves that would recharge the batteries, right? Because the professor was always like, I'm fine on the island. I mean, the professor's the only one not trying to get off. He's like, I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the government department intact, the IRS. Oh, government needs their VIG. All right. Booze works to make fires. Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Looks like Geo is a new person. Let Mike pull Geo back up real quick. I think Geo is a first time viewer. Thank you, Geo. Thank you for coming in, Geo.
Geo is a Mad Cave family.
Oh, Mad Cave family.
Yeah.
What does this say? Moviento es vida?
Yes. Moving is survival.
Moving is survival. Wow.
You move, you stay alive. Yeah.
Wow. If you're bilingual, you could probably live longer as well, clearly. In this scenario.
Motion is the lotion. Okay, yeah.
All right, Mike.
I think predictability is more important. I think the unpredictable nature of movement is really challenging, because you're constantly putting yourself in a situation that you don't know if you're ready for, right? So like, if you're always walking into something new, it's really hard to be prepared for everything that could happen. My 2 cents.
Now you have 2 choices. We got like, let's stay on the move, and we've got shelter in place. Where you land on this, Mike? Is going to split.
Well, see, this is why I'm staying on my island, because I don't like people to begin with.
Huh.
So I'm safe there. And if someone does come up on the island, then I'm gonna go with Mark's reasoning of they are dangerous and they have to go.
But
So-
Catalina Island's a fairly large island, Mike.
It
It's
is
not,
a
it's not
large
you knock
island,
at the
but,
door
you know,
of Ryan's
I'm,
joint, and he's like, "Hey, it's a trailer. Sorry,
They're gonna have to go. I got all my guns. Remember, I got them all before the whole thing started.
He's
So,
got
Somebody gets
guns.
to Catalina Island. How are you gonna get? What are you gonna do? Be like, swim on back?
yeah, well, yeah, that's
Just shoot a hole in their boat.
that's true.
Wow, that is real. That's chilly cold.
It is, but you gotta be careful because yes, they could be a very nice person and it's nice to have, occasional company here and there, but you got to figure most of the time they're going to be terrible people and want your stuff.
But Ryan is, I thought Ryan also made a good point. Everybody's got something that they grabbed in those first 2 weeks, and you didn't have time to grab a whole heck of a lot. And I need contact lens solution. And, I'm thinking Ryan rated a CVS in the first week. He's got plenty of saline. You don't see any option for trading.
I think you have to err on the side of caution. Yeah, because people are, they're going to want your stuff.
I'm going to err on your side, Ryan. What did you say, Ryan?
What if it's a beautiful woman?
Still, you gotta
Whoa.
get her off the island.
Wow, you guys are
You're hardcore, man.
survival. I'm letting a beautiful woman. I'm looking at like a kind of attractive woman with saline solution. I'm like, come on in.
Honey, but I have saline.
I am definitely. Mike had the foresight to get the boomstick.
Hey, I got dynamite with me. Oh, what about this? That's a tough one, blank stare.
That is a tough one, blank stare. That Mike would be like,
I probably would have lost a couple of them in the stabbing of the zombies, so I might need a Emmy to take place of the other ones.
Mike, you didn't grab those Emmys during the first outbreak. You like
They're my first weapons. Yeah,
you left the Annie Awards. You took the Emmys with you. All right, guys. So we're now in the final thoughts part of this. Final thoughts, and then we're going to go speed round. I'm going to go to you first, Ryan. Based on what you have heard, any changes to your strategy? Any final thoughts on said zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, I think going to the island's a really good idea. I think anytime you can be surrounded by a body of water, you're in really, really good shape. I think that's smart. I think I'd be nervous what happened when like that ferry showed up and like everyone's like, no, we haven't, none of us are infected, but the one person, of course, is in the bathroom becoming infected right as the ferry lands. And then it's like, then they get out and bite people, and now you're stuck on this island, and now everybody's fighting for a boat, which is the way that I'd probably write it, so I can screw up the situation. But no, I like the idea. I like the idea of an island. Definitely love the idea of an AM/FM radio. I got to invest in an AM/FM radio. It's really smart.
Yeah.
But no, other than that, I think my plans are pretty sound. I think you guys should learn a little from me this time.
Wow. There you go. All right, Ryan Engle. Okay. Mark London, given the love. Hold on. Philip Burnett just said, I had this mental image of Fasolo standing there in Bermuda shorts, flip-flops, robe, and flowing in the breeze, shotgun rested on his shoulder. Entry denied.
Exactly.
That's a fairly accurate description of Mike on any given day. Zombie apocalypse. Yeah, Mike doesn't need a zombie apocalypse to be that friendly.
Yeah.
I visited Mike in his Hollywood home, and he is like that. Pretty much that. All right, Mark London. Final thoughts. You've heard what the experts have said. You now have the opportunity to rethink your plan based on what you've heard, or double down. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I think that I have this notion of stagnant water, just like it's really, really bad for you. So I don't know. I think I'm sticking with keep moving. It's just like trying to look for survivors, trying to just like keep moving. I think that if you stay comfortable in that Bermuda shorts and the shotgun over your shoulder, I think that eventually, one of those ferries, as Ryan was saying, it's just going to pop up and it's just going to be full of zombies. And then, as I know Mike can take it, I know that he's just going to get overrun. So, I'm not taking my chances and just like, I think that keep moving is the smart play for me.
Well, I kind of I was surprised with how much I disagreed with that. I do see what Ryan is saying with shelter in place and be strong. I do know also Mike is from New York, so Mike would be pretty strong, right? He's a California transplant, but he's pretty tough. He's from New York. So I like that. Mike, you've heard the experts, award-winning. Oh, no, that's not Mike. Award-winning writers and publishers. You've just got a couple of Annies and Emmys. Have your thoughts changed? Have you been swayed by the expert panel?
No, I mean, I would definitely get a radio just to, tune in and see what else is happening in the world. But other than that, yeah, I think I'm sticking with the island and my guns.
I think everybody really likes London's radio idea. I mean, London, I gotta give you some props for that. Yeah, I would have never thought of a radio. And Mike, so you're on Catalina Island in your shorts, your flowing robe. Do you let the beard grow out?
It probably not. It gets a little itchy, so I would definitely keep it shaved.
And you don't dye it like you do when you go to the Emmys, right?
No.
Just keep it all white like I've done here.
All white, yep.
Yeah. This is the all bearded episode, and you guys are awesome. Now, before we get to the speed round, I want to say thank you all for your thoughtful insights that will inevitably help the writers who are out there. Thank you. You guys are awesome and great sports. Now, for our speed round, I am going to pull up the questions. Okay, I'm going to start top left corner. Mike Fasolo, best zombie movie that is a single standalone movie, 2 hours, something that you might watch from Ryan Engle.
Oh, from Ryan Engle?
No, I'm just saying Ryan Engle is a movie writer. You're a TV writer.
Okay.
Mark London is making magic with comics. What's your favorite zombie? What is the best zombie movie?
I'm thinking right now, 28 Days Later.
Why?
It was new at the time with the crazy rage zombies, and that was just, I think, something new that really, sucked you into the thing, because it wasn't, they're slow zombies that you can easily walk away from. These were the zombies that are going to chase you down, and they're going to kill you no matter what. So It wasn't the typical, I can just hole up in my house. These are zombies. They're coming to kill you no matter what.
They are coming for you, even if you wake up completely naked in a full frontal shot.
Yep.
They are after you. All right, Mark London, who is writing all the comics these days. Mark, best zombie movie.
Can I pick two, or it has to be one?
You know what, Mark? You, my friend, can pick two.
Thank you. The original Dawn of the Dead, 1978. I mean, such a classic. And the second one is Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Because of its humor, and also because it's freaking informative and freaking entertaining. So those two are my picks.
Wow, not bad. Now, Ryan, I feel like there's a lot of risk in this answer. You have to answer correctly because you could be working with this director pretty soon or with this studio. A lot of risk in this one, Ryan, but you got to pick. What is the best zombie movie?
Well, I am going to admit that I was never a big fan of zombie movies growing up. Mm-hmm. So the older ones never really connected with me. The first one that ever connected with me was Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Oh, another one for Shaun of the Dead.
And then I would say 28 Days Later, because of the rage zombies, I finally felt like, now this is scary. Now I get it.
It was pretty horrifying the first time you after you get past the full frontal nudity, then the shock wears off, and then you're like, wait, they run?
Yeah.
They run. That was a bit much. All right, we're going to go to the comic book guy himself. We're going to say, and this is a little tough, especially if you're not well-versed in zombie comic books. Mark London, is there a best zombie comic book? You can even name something that you've written or published, does not matter. Best zombie comic.
I mean, I wish I could plug in my own stuff, but I mean, I have to give it to The Walking Dead. I mean, it's Robert Kirkman definitely just like knocked it out of the park with The Walking Dead. It's a fantastic, phenomenal series. I mean, it's so good that it's infuriating.
Yeah, it's a little. I get jealous just thinking like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, Brain Dead Overseas would be the top of my list. I've never even heard of Dead Alive.
I'd never heard of that one either.
Did he make that up?
May have.
He might have made that up. All right, Fasolo, you used to have access to the Wizard magazine library. Any zombie comics for you?
I mean, honestly, the only one that I know of is The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
You've mentioned a couple of zombies comics on the show. Yeah, haven't you? Yeah, with the something of the dead, she raises from the grave and she's a zombie.
Yes, Rachel Rising.
Yes, I would like to check that one out. But other than that, I can't say that I know any zombie comics.
Yeah, and for technicality, I mean that's I guess it is Raised from the Dead, and Crossed technically falls into the zombie category, but not something you could recommend to Ryan's children.
No.
In their 30s. Ryan, I know it's tough and then we'll go back to television. Dead Alive is amazing. Ryan, any favorite comic book series that have zombies in it?
I mean, obviously, The Walking Dead goes without saying, but I'm partial to one that I worked on that I did an adaptation for out of China called Zombie Brothers.
Wait,
yeah.
Wait, how did we not know this, Ryan? Like,
I don't know. It's just I worked on it kind of quietly, and to my knowledge, it's not getting made at this point. But I did a couple adaptations of it. Yeah.
That's impressive. And what was? Could you tell us what it's? Zombie Brothers? It sounds like is it siblings or like Mario Brothers meet zombies?
Yeah, you can look it up. They actually when they pitched it to me as the Harry Potter of China. It's a 10-cent property. It started as a comic, became an animated project, took on a life of its own. It has a traveling stage show. I shit you not. And it's about zombies that subsume each other. So that you be like one zombie comes in contact with the other, and then you become double zombie. And then you create all these wacky creations of like people subsumed and so.
Wow.
I like that. That sounds like a comic that Mark London's going to publish soon.
Curious. Okay.
He strokes that glorious beard. All right, final round. Best zombie television show. Ryan Engle, I'm going to keep you. Your microphone's still on.
Yeah.
What's the best zombie television show?
Controversial, but it's got to be The Last of Us. But I have an explanation for why.
I don't think that's controversial at all. That's a great show.
Okay, it's a great show. It's an even better video game. It's my two favorite video games of all time.
It is a popular video game in our house as well, and I love that that you zigged when we thought you were going to zag. Yeah. You always keep us on our toes, Ryan. Well done. Yeah. All right, Fasolo, Mr. TV himself. Once again, be careful, Mike. The people you name might be hurt if you don't name their property.
Yeah, well, I would agree with Ryan and say The Last of Us.
You would say The Last of Us. Are you copying Ryan, or are you just?
I'm copying Ryan. It was
come on.
That was probably the best zombie TV series. I haven't played the video games, although I hear they were great. But I mean, the TV series was amazing.
It was. It had an emotional core that I was not expecting. I was like, I wasn't scared as much as I was crushed emotionally. That was an emotionally crushing show.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was the writing was stunning. And speaking of stunning writers, Mark London, you were last but not least. What is the best zombie television show?
I didn't even think. I mean, when we were going through when I was going through a thought process, I didn't think about The Last of Us, and I have to give it to Mike and Ryan. But again, I was such a comic book fan of The Walking Dead, the comics, that when I heard that they were making a TV show, I mean, I kind of just like lost my shit, and I devoured that and all the spin-offs and everything. So the thing is that The Walking Dead, the TV show, has a really special place in my heart because it's tied to the comic books. But hands down, I mean, Ryan and Mike are absolutely right about The Last of Us. I mean,
Yeah, The Last of Us, that does get a big round of applause. I do want to note Z-Nation won me over after a while.
Z-Nation was fun. That was a fun show.
Yeah, and Mark, I don't want to tell you how to run your company, but I'm about to.
Go ahead.
When it started, it was dumb as hell. Mark, there's money on the table. Me and Mike are going to write the sequel to Black Summer for you because they did not end it properly on Netflix. As far as I'm concerned, yes, Walking Dead is the great granddaddy of the best television shows, but Black Summer did something that I did not expect, which was it just twisted the genre around. It did not play the way you thought it would play, and it did not have an ending. They did not get to end that. That is not fair.
You're right.
It is not fair. Okay, round robin, real quick. I want to go with plugs, and then we're gonna get the heck out of here. Mark London, give me a plug. What do you got? What should people be looking out for, buying, pre-ordering?
Check for Mad Cave Studios. Subscribe to the newsletter. That's the best way to be informed of everything that we're doing, from adult comic books, young adult comics, or graphic novels, middle grade content. And next year that we're launching our publishing imprint called Nakama Press. So everything, I mean, just to basically satisfy your graphic novel needs. I mean,
so Mark, you don't want to identify a particular of any of your children. You love them all equally. Just buy anything under the Mad Cave banner. You are a diplomatic promoter. Ryan, give us the plug. What should people be running out to go buy, see, rent, whatever?
Yeah. My one baby is my one comic book baby is Behemoth. I'm pretty sure we publish in January. I'm already working on another thing with Dark Horse, hopefully in the near future. So I'll plug that at a later date, and then check out my movies, see what I do.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well done, Ryan. So if you like Ryan's movies, I expect you're going to like Ryan. And you co-wrote this with Mother director.
I am Mother director and Grant Spatore.
Grant Spatore. We're going to have him on the show. And Jay is actually coming back in about 2 weeks. He's going to be coming back for a live drawing session.
Oh, amazing. Great. Good. Yeah. Jay's the best.
Yeah. Mike, what do they got to sell? What do you got to plug? Plug something.
I'm going to plug anything that Mark or Ryan write.
Oh, you.
Thank you,
Mike. You are a sweetheart, and all of you guys are the best, the absolute best. One more round of applause. All right, guys, I'm going to put you real quick into the green room. Mike, as per tradition, what's waiting in the green room for our guests who spent some time with us?
Well, today we have, since it's a zombie episode, we have green eggs and ham.
All right, let me punch you guys in the green room, guys. Stay back there. Do not kill each other. You guys are friendlies. But thank you so much for both of you for coming. Ryan, thank you. Mark, thank you. Mike, that was an awesome episode, was it not? I mean,
it was fun. Very exciting.
Yeah, and a theme episode, probably the all-time highest number of comments we've ever gotten for a show, and for good reason. Plug your new island
resort. It's just for me, though. It's just my island.
All right, I'm going to pull the guys back in just for a final good night. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. We will see you. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m.